for his shot. Blocked in front. Witkowski knocked it loose back of the net. Centered it up front. Came back to the right point. Cosgrove into the right corner. Witkowski scores! Jake Witkowski out of the corner.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Athlete Podcast. Today I'm joined by Jake Witkowski, a D-side Dragons player coach, and also someone that's come across the pond as well, which will be an interesting little dynamic for us to touch on during this. How are we doing then?
Doing great. Yeah, it's been a great morning here, and getting to know a little bit more about what you guys do and get to meet some of the staff has been awesome.
Awesome. How do you? I have to ask. How do you feel about the British heat without any air conditioning?
Yeah, it's tough. It's an adjustment. We have some fans blowing at the house.
Yeah.
But it's all good. I just came from Orlando, so it's
okay.
it's.
I bet it's like 35, 40 odd degrees.
Yeah, it was humid there, so this is not too bad right now.
Okay. I only wonder because, like, obviously it's a point of contention, I think, because the British online and stuff, we cry about how warm it is, and then Americans looking at it, they're like 40 degrees.
Yeah.
Some of them are like, that's near freezing.
Yeah. The Fahrenheit. Yeah, I know. It took me a little bit to make that adjustment.
Anyway, let's start with where we always begin. How did you get into your sport? What's the story behind that?
Yeah, so I, it was my dad originally that put me on skates when I was 3, so it wasn't really a personal choice at that point, but, growing up in Boston is a major hockey city, so, my dad was a massive hockey fan and obviously wanted his boys to play hockey, and
it's a pretty big sports city though too, right?
Yeah, we got 4 major sports teams with the Red Sox, Bruins, Celtics,
all successful big organizations.
Yeah, right? Even in my lifetime, I've seen every team win a championship, which has been pretty cool. So it's a massive sports town, and especially hockey. Being on skates till 3, and then so for as long as I can remember, I've been playing hockey, and fell in love with the sport over the years, and so it's been 26 years now playing hockey, and it's all I for as long as I can remember.
Exactly.
Playing.
Exactly. It must come to you like nothing now. You just know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
What you also did compete? Well, not compete. Maybe trained. You took on quite a few sports when you were younger.
Yeah.
Some that you did take all the way till you were an adult as well, like baseball. You mentioned you were doing that until you're 18. And you also played a little bit of British football. Soccer.
Yeah.
What was, what drew you to hockey? In terms of, because if you're trying a lot of different sports, there's something about hockey that just got you. Do you know what I mean? Hooked you.
Yeah. I think, growing up, you want to, it's as most kids do, try a couple different things, and the idea of kind of being a well-rounded athlete and trying different sports with your friends. So that was the idea early on, and then you kind of pick one that you gravitate towards more, and
as time gets slimmer and slimmer, you got more stuff going on.
And as you gain, go up the ranks with the levels, and you kind of have to commit more, because the training takes more commitment. It gets more competitive, and I was just kind of drawn to the excitement of hockey, the the action of it. So compared to maybe baseball, that was a little bit slower and still enjoyable, but was just kind of drawn to the ice hockey. For at that age, probably around 16, 17, I had to make that decision to pick one and stick with it, and chose hockey.
I mean, that's the point where it just becomes serious, doesn't it?
Yeah. You're choosing college, and then getting recruited.
Like subsequently also picking what team you want to play for. As well when you choose college, because that's like the biggest thing. If you're into sports, like you will compete at that level, right? Yeah,
it's a massive decision. In high school, you're getting recruited to go to college by different teams in the area all over the country. So like I said, it's super competitive, and you gotta at that point pick one and give your full attention to that sport. But I was happy I was able to play baseball for as long as I did, because I think that,
of course,
in ways it contributed to hockey, and just being a rounded athlete, and working on other skills like hand-eye and different type of training, helped on the ice as well.
Nice. So in terms of when you get started in hockey, what's like, obviously, I mean, there's the big one, there's learning how to skate, right? But what are like the first thing that you get taught when you decide, I'm gonna pick up a stick and a puck, and I want to give this a go, what do you start?
I think, like you said, obviously learn how to skate is the biggest one, but then there's a lot of different pieces of the game that go involved with that. It's not just skating. It's you got to stick handle while you're skating, and then all of a sudden you have defenders on you, so there's more to it than just stick handling. You got to learn how to protect the puck, stick handle while skating. And then as you get older, obviously the physical part of the game gets introduced around 10 years old, where you start to hit, and then
contact.
Oof. So it's then that changes, and you got to teach that. So there's a lot of different variables. You're doing all that stuff while you're on ice, and
there's a lot to think about. I feel like the muscle memory really does take over. Where you don't really, you're doing it, but you don't really ever think about what you're doing in the moment.
For sure.
Especially when defenders are on you, and you gotta weave in and out with the puck as well.
And I think that's a big part of why my parents put me on skates at 3, because a lot of players start at that age, just because if you start at 5 or 6 or 7, you have a kind of a late start on those guys, and
of course,
it takes a pretty a 2-year difference in hockey is pretty massive, because it's a lot of skill that goes out into it. So
especially while you're already growing and learning so many things,
right?
Like your brain is perfect at that age, to get into it and start learning how to do it right.
It's spot on. Like just doing that while you're learning to walk is that's why it becomes so natural to us. It's just during those early stages of development, we're adding skating to that.
So what did training look like when you were younger, maybe like 10, 11 or odd? When you probably competing for a team, going to competitions, you play in a league, definitely. What does the training look like? Is it a little full on once, twice a week, or?
So I would train from 8 to 10 and every in the winter months, every day really. Whether that was with my team, organized practice, or in my driveway shooting pucks or stick handling, because that's like, it's so competitive that if you weren't practicing every day, other kids were, and you'd be behind. So it was an all year kind of practice thing, and alongside going to school. I would say
rain or snow, but you'd probably be pretty happy with a bit of snow.
There's tons of pond hockey in Boston, because it does get cold in the winters, so the ponds do freeze over, and we're able to gather.
That's so funny that we're just told that from when we're younger, in this country at least, it's just don't ever step on a pond, and you guys are just skating on it.
No, there's some instance of kids falling through, and
it's gotta happen.
The ponds aren't too deep, so but that's a childhood memory of mine, is just gathering a group of my friends and heading out to the pond, and that's where you really fall in love with the game as well.
Exactly.
And those are some core childhood memories of growing up playing with my friends, and just pure love of the game.
Just out there in like the minus God knows what,
bundled up
pretty high in terms of America itself. You're like near the top.
Northeast.
Cold.
Boston winters are pretty harsh. Tons of snow. It gets well below freezing, so
It's perfect
pros and cons. Yeah, it's tough, but then you get to pond hockey, so it's helps. Did some skiing growing up, which is similar to ice skating, I guess, and
it's all adjacent.
Yeah, same movements in some ways, but as far as training goes, those early days are more skill focused, where
than strength.
Just trying to master, like I was saying, those skating skills, the edges that getting to know how to use your skates, and then pairing that with stick handling, shooting. It's a fast game, so doing all those at the same time is a skill that requires years of training. And as you get older, you start to learn more of the system side of the game, and trying to learn how the game works at that high school level, at that college level, which is another big step of
all the time
trying to think the game now as well. And
I think in America, with obviously how serious you guys take sports over there, it gets serious pretty quickly. Like, we obviously, a lot of people, they play football, we've got the Saturday Sunday leagues, and there's tactics and stuff, but like, you're not exactly playing necessarily to be seen and scouted by someone. That doesn't generally really happen at those places. You would end up going to a trial yourself and stuff like that. Whereas in America, you kind of know that while you're doing while you're playing high school football, baseball, hockey, there are people there watching, and then that's the pathway. You go from high school to college, and then there might be some sort of draft or whatever. I don't really. But like, that this is it. If you want to do it, this is the place to do it. It's kind of like that's your one chance, really. There's the local club aspect isn't exactly there, if that makes sense. The local grassroots club, it just goes through the school education system, doesn't it? Yeah, you're right. I mean,
there's a similar path that all hockey players take. Starting from a pretty young age of select hockey, which you travel a lot all over the country. Usually higher end coaches, higher end skills coaches, so you're paying for that, and then you're just moving on to, like you said, you try to get into the best high school you can, and because that track sets you up for success later on in your career. You try out for the best select teams to get you into the best high school, and that high school hopefully is surrounded by coaches that can move you on to the college level, which then leads to
hopefully with good connections too to the places that you want to be,
right, exactly.
That's what you're also looking for,
and then professionally, if that's what you aspire to do. And it is a similar path of trying to set yourself up in the best team or organization to give you a high chance of success.
It's a very unique system. I will say that, because it just doesn't go through the education. Like, normally it will be, you would go for a grassroots club, and you would not care as much about like your school's footy team or anything like that. Whereas it's all based on that. It's really, really interesting.
It is.
And the effort and it all translates, because of course it means that these places, professional teams in America, will be paying the universities, the colleges and stuff for their players, won't they? When they pick them to be drafted. Well, I don't know what the word would be. But it means that they're getting money from the teams, which means that they invest it in the facilities and stuff, which means that they will overall, they will more often produce these players of the high enough standard to be taken from them, which means they get more money. Do you know what I mean? So the facilities and the support for college sport in America is unbelievable. It's
massive, and the donations that the schools get, the fans that the schools get, and then obviously it's competitive from a player standpoint, because there's a certain amount of scholarships that the university can grant out to their players, which is a massive amount of money for 18-year-old to get free, or even half off college tuition is a great thing to get because it is, expensive, especially at those high-end hockey schools, which is competitive, because there's
there's plenty of people all over the country.
All over the world even. I had guys on my college team from Finland and Canada, all over the US. So Boston being a massive hockey town, it's you're not only competing with those players in Boston, but all over the country, all over the world that want to come to Boston to play because of the education, because of the
local teams,
exactly,
just the community as well. It's big. It's so big. Like, it didn't occur to me how big it was really until Dan, colleague here at Sports Champions, works as a campaign manager, came in and he was like, got a new game. What game did you get? He's like, I got college football. College football. He's like, highest selling game of 2025.
And college football is massive.
Like, I didn't realize how big it was until I realized first of all there's a game. Like, that's crazy. And then second of all, it's the highest selling game of 2025. It's unbelievable.
I mean, they're getting 100,000 fans, and the TV coverage is massive.
Wow.
And, those teams like Alabama, Ohio State, Notre Dame,
huge,
massive,
bigger than some of the football clubs over here. Easily, especially the championship teams and stuff.
Some people like even college football more than the NFL.
Wow.
Just because of the camaraderie of it and the excitement of it, and those schools have massive following. Which is fun. Fun.
I mean, why not turn it into something big like that?
For sure.
I don't see the reason not to. And it definitely creates some amazing athletes as well, just in the meantime. So in terms of your training schedule and stuff at that point when you're in Boston University, what did it look like then? How were you balancing everything?
In season, we're on the ice every day. We're granted one off day as a league rule, just to give the athletes a rest, and but other than that, it's 6 days a week. Whether that's training on the ice, in the gym, sometimes both. We'd be in season, we'd be in the gym twice a week, and then on the ice 4 times a week with 2 games on the weekend, and then usually Mondays off, and then obviously just trying to balance that with schoolwork.
Does that, so you're on the ice, but that doesn't sort of contain your strength and conditioning gym stuff, does it?
No, so we'll do, in college it was Tuesday, Wednesday would be on ice, and in season those lifts were a little bit lighter than it would be in the off season, obviously, because you don't want to tire yourself out for the weekend, and
of course,
it's more maintaining that strength, working on flexibility, recovering, so a lot of stretching, versus the off season, which is strength building, trying to build endurance and get ready for the season. So it's kind of the opposite off season, where it would be more in the gym and maybe a little bit less on ice.
What did the nutrition look like at that point? Was it a lot of protein, I imagine?
Yeah, definitely a lot of protein to help build muscle, and a lot of recovery stuff. So I think that we were fortunate at BU that we had nutritionists working with us closely. So
that's crazy.
We were guided and given a lot of resources and tools that would help us feel our best, recover well, stay in shape. So but it's it's one of those things where if you're eating poorly, you feel it on the ice, you feel it in the weight room, and with it being so competitive, you need every edge that you can get, and nutrition's a massive part of that. Recovery is a massive part of that. So just trying to it's a full-time thing. There's so many different things that go into playing at that top level. And
you sleep as well.
Yeah,
like,
sleep
that's
is
really big, I imagine.
It's where it starts. It's how good you're recovering is how you're going to feel the next day, and how you're going to perform in the gym, how you're going to perform on the ice. So it really does stem off of sleep. And that's a massive focus on what time you're eating, some of the supplements that we take to maybe help our recovery and sleep.
Interesting. Very interesting. See, it goes deep. It goes very
deep.
At a really, really sort of young age, I reckon. It's not I mean, people that, there's a lot of big athletics universities like Loughborough. They're just kind of, and Bath as well. Bath's really good. Yeah, they're like the gold standard for athletics, but it doesn't go into it in like team sports and stuff like athletics. Athletics is big in universities over here because there's the British University Championships and stuff like that for them. But there's nothing for like football, ice hockey, basketball. There's not like a university league or anything for them, so it doesn't go as deep really. In terms of the next step in your career after university, you took quite a big leap, right? How did that, how were you feeling at the time? How did you come to the obvious reason that you choose to come to England would be there's English speaking. It's a lot, it's a lot of the same here. What was your biggest consideration during that decision making period?
I think obviously just the experience of it and the opportunity that came with it. So after college you kind of weigh your options of what kind of road you want to take. A lot of guys do stay in the US because there's a lot of competitive leagues, and it's a great route to a professional career. And then some other guys will go to Europe and other teams across the ocean. So it kind of depends on individually what you're looking for. And me personally, I was intrigued by the experience to go live in another country and travel. And so I was looking at leagues over here that would be a good opportunity, a good fit for myself. And when narrowing it down to the different countries such as Sweden, Germany, Norway, or any of those professional leagues, when the opportunity came in England, like you said, it being English speaking, it being a little bit more familiar, I think that it was a good transition for me, as a first.
And how good our plugs
step.
are.
Yeah.
Up on that. Did you know about them?
At the time, my sister studied abroad here in London, so she let me know about that.
It's a weird selling point. I don't know what it is, but people are like, these plugs are good,
Yeah, no, they definitely are. We should, definitely take advice on take some notes on that over in the US. But the English speaking, and then obviously it being in Leeds was a major city, so I thought it would be a lot of fun. And
Leeds is a nice place.
It's
very packed. It's got a lot to show you. And also you kind of satellite, there's plenty of other cities that you can go to visit up there. Like you're like for anyone that lives in like Liverpool, Manchester, Newcastle is worlds away. But for Leeds it's not so bad.
Definitely.
And obviously you could also go to Scotland too.
Yeah.
There's like Bradford, Preston if you want to go across.
Sheffield isn't too far.
Yeah, exactly.
And
then
like
you can go down to like York and stuff like that. So it's a good place to start off, I think, because like while you're way away from London, but London can feel like every other city in the country really. You're kind of close to the unique ones, do you know what I mean? Like Newcastle, Sunderland, York.
I think as an American, like when you think of England, you do just think of London really, and obviously Manchester and Liverpool.
I mean, it's fair enough. Like when I think of America, I think of New York and California and stuff. You don't think of the stuff that's in the middle.
Right. So it was kind of cool to get to know more of the country and how cool those different northern cities are, and I feel like I have a pretty good gauge on being over here for now 4 years. It's I feel like I've touched all areas of the UK, which has been awesome, and getting to know the differences, whether that's the accents or the football teams that people root for. So it's been great. It's and then obviously transitioning over to Northern Wales the past year has been cool, learning that area, Chester area, spending more time in Liverpool has been great. And the people that I've met has been probably the best part about being over here, and really immersing myself in the culture of England and Northern Wales, and
the culture of England. Lots of beer then.
Yeah, the pubs, the pints,
roast dinners.
The roast dinners have been great. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's been a lot of fun.
What was there anything that you particularly just struggled with when you first came over, or?
I think that there's more. Actually, I think one of the things was good for me is that I was able to cook more over here, because the food there wasn't like, there's a lot of, in the U.S., especially in Boston, a lot of places I can just get like fast quick sandwich,
but it's also pretty good food.
Like things that
whereas the fast food over here, there's less emphasis on fast food,
right?
But it kind of just means that you just have your typical Subway, McDonald's,
like a kebab or something. So it forced me to cook more, and which is a good thing. I got to learn how to maybe cook some more meals at home, which was an adjustment, but one that I'm happy about now. But the differences aren't really that massive, which is a good thing, especially Boston being kind of one of the older cities in America. It's there's a lot of similarities, surprisingly.
A lot of heritage as well from Britain too.
Definitely,
because that would have been one of the founding sort of cities, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Definitely one of the oldest.
Yeah.
Wow. In terms of just to sort of bring it to an end here, we are at 27 minutes, so unfortunately we're about to run out of time. But in terms of what some of your top tips would be, let's say, because we've already touched on getting into it, we've already touched on, you did mention that it's kind of a young sport, you do want to get in, but what would be your top tip for someone that's a little bit older, they're kind of just thinking, I want to try something new? What would be your top sort of bit of advice for them? I would definitely just say, embrace the struggle of it, embrace the grind, enjoy it. I think looking back on my career, looking back, those times were what it was all about. When you get to this level, you miss those times of showing up to the rink with your friends and maybe not being as good as you were, but trying to just grind through it, and showing up to the gym and seeing the results of all the work that you put in. And I would say you're not going to be, like anything, like most things, you're not going to be the best when you start, but stick it out. And it's a awesome game to try to learn. It does look really fun. I've never tried it, but it looks so much fun. It is fun. So it's once you do kind of get over that hump of trying to learn how to skate and stick handle and do all that skill stuff, it's very rewarding, and it's an awesome game. The community of it is great. The fans, the players, the people that you meet have been awesome. It's one of the best things about my career is just the people that it's brought me to, which is good. Just quickly, in terms of, obviously, if someone's older, where could they go to sort of grassroots? Because you might not be able to join a team, but are there like Sunday leagues and stuff where just casual play can happen? You can go join in, maybe train with them or something like that.
There's at most rinks there'll be men's leagues that have all different types of levels and ages. So awesome. And then there's also just free skates on the weekends, which will only be like £10. You can rent some skates. There's people of all ages and skill levels that you'll be able to try to work on some stuff.
Awesome. Right, well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
The first ice hockey player we've ever had on the podcast in Sports Champions, so thanks for blessing us with your knowledge.
It's an honour.
It's been good. We've not learned this much about a sport in a while. We've not had a new athlete come on with a brand new sport, so
I'm glad.
It's been very good.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Harrison.
And thank you to everyone for listening, and we hope to see you all very soon.